You the youngest, you look like a young Blade, nigga.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm out here at night trying to kill these vampires, trying to suck my potential away, man. You know, they said
Amen to
like,
that.
if you don't got haters in your life, you ain't doing something right.
Yeah, for real. But what I was talking about now is last week on the live, me and my boy kind of got into it. And I'm like, what I was trying to tell him is like, bro, you gotta understand when you on the line with men, it's another dude, Chef. I think Chef about to come back on too. I just met Chef on the line too. Like he just came on, and I'm like, bro, you gotta talk direct. Like that black preacher shit, bro. Like that's what got us in trouble. You know what I'm saying? And we men. You know what I'm saying? Because my question was, and I was looking for an answer. I wasn't saying I believe something one way or another. I asked a fucking question, and I'm like, bro, what has Jesus done for black people? When no, I said specifically, I said, when has Jesus been a positive for black people?
Okay.
When has
Well,
and that was a question that I'm not even asking you to explain because
I was gonna
I
wait.
know.
Oh, bro, I'll break it down my thoughts on it. But go ahead.
Right. I actually we do want to hear your thoughts on it. But my point in asking him that was based on the religious aspects and the things we were talking about because he's a Hebrew Israelite, right? So we were looking for direct answers, and he was just like driving the ship fucking to the other side of like, dude, we're right here. Like,
Mm.
what? Like, talk. He's like, and he kept his argument was like, you're not letting me finish. And at a certain point in time, I just was like, bro, this is nothing about letting you finish. You're starting without even talking about nothing I'm saying.
Mm.
We're still listening. You talking. You're not even referencing anything I asked you. And that was the thing that the issue that I was having. It wasn't even the direct question. It was like, bro, we black men, bro. We need a direct conversation. And I understand, like you've gotten to know me over time where you watch my lives. Everybody know I'm loud. I'm animated.
Facts.
Even now, I'm way loud. You're chill. I'm loud. Like, and it's not. It's just the fucking way I talk. God damn it. It's not on purpose. I'm. It's who I am. You know what I'm saying? And I talk like this even by myself if I believe in something and I'm trying to make a point. Plus, I know I'm on the phone. I'm trying to have my volume, my octave to where my audience can hear me. But yeah, I'm passionate. I'm not trying to berate a brother by my voice. Like when me and you talking, I get loud. You don't go, whoa, 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 you too loud. You never say that. You say, I don't agree with your point, and that sounds stupid, or I agree, and I'm gonna expound on that. But you never go, you never get caught up on me being me, and I never get caught
Well,
up on you being you.
the military has taught me that people are going to yell in your face, and you don't let that person get to you. I mean, like, what I look like letting you and who you are bother me and who I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to that point, I'm gonna do this in 90 seconds or left. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this like I'm doing one of my little Instagram reels. I don't necessarily think it's to ask. I don't think it's fair to put the plight of black, whether it's black immigrants or African American descendants of slaves, to put their plight on Jesus per se, because even though Jesus is one of the main, if not the biblical figure, he is just one of many. That's why we have BC and, saying before Christ, and after. So you have these connotations that you have to look for. But to that, I would say it's not so much what Jesus per se, because there wasn't African Americans, nor there was the plight of the trading and the slavery and all that when Jesus was around. Like, how can you say like what Jesus has done? Like, we go by the scripture. Scripture says he died for our sins, right? If we're talking about Jesus the man, he lived a life, and his life was examples for us. Okay, so there are different ways of looking at it. Where I have a issue is where people, like, if you look at what Christianity is to the black community, when it was taught to the black community, it was taught as a form of submission, and then it was taught as a form of control, and then it was taught as a form of segregation, and now it's taught as a point of choice, and how that choice is looked upon. So there's been elevations of how it has directly affected the community that we're in, and will affect the community going forward. But then you also have to look at a community that is not just Christian based, but we have my parents are black immigrants, and my dad is Anglican. My mom is Lutheran. They grew up under the Queen, the British rule.
Can
So
you repeat what your dad is again for us? Can you repeat that again?
my mom is Anglican, and my father is a Lutheran.
What is the first understanding? Give us some
So
just a tad bit of
Anglican
background.
Lutheran, it's kind of like a Seventh-day Adventist, where a Seventh-day Adventist goes to
Okay,
church on a
okay.
Saturday versus a Sunday. It's just a different
Understood.
form of those sects. We have Baptists, you got Southern Baptists, you got Methodists. You know what I'm saying? One person, just a
Yep.
different way. But they grew up under that. But I can call my mom right now, and I'll ask her a verse, and she will go verse, page, chapter off the top of her head. But she's not a Bible thumper. So my mom always taught that the Bible and the morals and the stories are there to guide you, but they're not there for you to influence others to do what you feel is right. Live by your choices. Let it be your moral compass, and let it go from there. So I think it's one of those things to where it's like a weapon. You pick up a gun. A gun ain't going to kill somebody unless that person pulls the trigger. But a gun can be used to stop something if you use it in the right way. It all depends on who is the holder, right? Best example, look at the Book of Eli. You seen that movie, right? With Denzel
Denzel.
Washington, right? The guy wanted the book because he knew the power of the message and he can control the people. And whereas Denzel's character knew the importance of it to be archived and documented for those who will use it to do good. So to your friend's point, I didn't hear what he was saying, but I can only assume that his thought process was how it directly affected and it changed the course of it, and it's the fault of the book rather than the people who are preaching the book to control.
Well, you're the only friend. Well, actually, this is that whole segment is going up because, and it's gonna actually, I'm literally gonna put the title of the question and have you, and I want people to hear because that was beautiful. That was clean, beautiful. It was intellectual. It was insightful. It was fair. It was fair to everyone. And I think people need to hear you say that. So I'm definitely gonna be reposting that
Hey,
as a
brother,
reel.
I'm fresh out of
But
men's group. Like when I was driving home when I saw you came on, I just came from men's group right now. So you know what I mean? Like my mind's in the right place. It's put me there, and I don't ever think it's a coincidence that, you and I get a chance to jump on, and this just so happened to be the topic.
what is the experience with men's group? Give me an experience on that. What is that? What is that, and what does it do for you?
Men's group does a lot of things for me. One, like just can you hear me now? I have to go
Yeah.
back to the camaraderie of what the military brought for me, and the gathering, and in the military, you even though it's co-ed, there's things that men go through, and the career field I was in was very, very, very hard. It wasn't like people always say the Air Force is a cheer force. Man, I was on the flight lines. It was one of those 12-hour days. There's a lot of hard work that takes a lot of masculine energy that goes around. There's a lot of testosterone driven. But in the men's group, what it is a bunch of men who are willing to acknowledge their mistakes and how it has helped them become better men. But we have individuals in there who are in their 60s, 70s that are just now going through the struggles in life. So it's a good way to show that no matter if you're a young man or you're an old influencer, you can still go through troubles. And this men's group allows us to get together and not only talk about it, experience and impact and influence each other, as well as provide an insight. I'm going to take 2 more minutes on this subject. There was one topic that they brought up, and they were talking about parenting your kids and how, we have a world full of these influences that tell us that, our kids are wrong, and it's up to us to influence our kids, and we need to be the example. And my question was, first of all, based on what you're telling me, I can never be a man of God. I was a humanitarian with my sexual activities all the way through, right? I have 4 kids by 3 different women. I was playing Russian roulette all the damn time, and I just so happy to never get caught by a bullet, but I was always on there until there was a point to where I learned who I was and how to dignify myself. And that was because my wife was the first woman who ever loved me for me, not what I could provide, not what I look like. She loved me for my mistakes. She loved the mistake of a man that stood before her. So to be a part of this group that allows me to do these many different things, one of the biggest items that I take away from the men's group was, how are you sitting there and saying one thing? It's easy to put everything and say the Lord said this and this is how you do it, but we're not talking about all the mistakes it takes to get there, so we today's book was about Jacob and how he was a con man and how he conned his father and how he stole, and God still was looking at him to say he has the potential to be great, so there's many different ways that the men's group helps out, but for me, I like to hear from other men who are comfortably vulnerable in sharing in their failings so that I don't have to fail.
And I'll tell you this, and I know this to be true because you're going to back me up on this. Men are much more willing to talk in the way that you just expressed, with total truth and humility amongst each other, because we don't feel like another man would ever weaponize that.
Because we've been there as men, we know what each other a man is like. I can go to my wife and I can tell her, but there are certain things that I'm like, only my boy is going to understand. My best friend is going to understand. My father is going to understand. Or a random man I can talk to on the street is going to have a better understanding of most situations than the people that we love, that live with us, that are around us. And that's look at my post, man. For those of you who are watching, I would love for you to go to my Instagram, Rise RISE 101, and check out my posting. It's all about an empowerment. I'm having conversations that men tend to not want to have about failing.
Can you write that in the chat for him? Can you write that in the chat for him, please?
Yeah.
Whenever you get a chance.
I got you. So it's all about like just being able to be honest, and I don't want to sit there and say, well, black men need this. All men need this. And there will be areas to where black men can speak to each other. And there will be areas where we need to have a multicultural conversation. But there's one thing that we can't ignore, that we're in a country that we're Americans. And we need to talk as American men with differences, with different cultures, with different opinions. But
can you say that one more time, please?
We need to talk as American men of the Western culture. For me, I'm a Western culture, but I have a different culture that's not of America. So I have a different point of view than someone who's from here. But the experiences we have align along of our path. So if we are able to, at least one of us has to stand up and take the bullet, right? One of us has to pull the short straw. And if I have to be that person, I have no problem raising my hand and leading the example. And hopefully those after me will be more successful. But if I have to fail, I'm going to fail forward. And that's going to help those that come after me. And that's the impact I want to leave. Let's start a conversation and let's be dignified about it. Let's agree to disagree. No one's here to hate. I can't say your experience is worse than mine because look how successful you are. You know what I mean? So it's just, we can't talk with judgment. All we can talk is with justification of who we are.
You are one of those people that y'all are looking at somebody who puts himself in a position to learn. And if you don't put yourself around people like this, and you don't know someone like this, you need to get to know someone like this. And I'm like this because I meet people like this. So when y'all wonder why I'm so sociable and so knowledgeable and I'm able to express myself, is because y'all see who I'm on live with. I know people like this personally. I can call this man when I'm having a bad day. I can call this man when I'm going through something. And a lot of y'all, especially men, y'all don't got that. And a lot of times the shit that y'all do discuss with y'all homeboys be some immature, you never really talking about what's going on with you. That's making you really want to slap the dog shit out of somebody. Your manager, your girl, you know what I'm saying? So
but you need those, you need the people who are going to challenge the way you think, because adversity is around every corner. And if you can learn to deal with people who don't share your views, and sometimes go ahead.
No, I want to interrupt because I want you to speak on this. When you said you need to be around people who will basically check you. I can't read. I don't know exactly how you said it, but basically people that's not gonna let you get away with just being your damn regular self and a low life in a sense. Not a low life, but
no, you're right.
You just said it.
You got to be around people who ain't gonna let you be a piece of shit, who's gonna call you out. Like, that's what it takes. You have to be able to have constructive criticism in your life, because if someone takes the time to talk shit to you and tell you, I love it. I may hurt in the initial motion of it, but their words are going to help me down the road. Whether it's going to motivate me to never hear them again or motivate me to prove them wrong, it's still going to motivate me. And if they took the time to say something to me, okay, I'm going to take your, whether you realize you invested in me or not, you taking time to talk smack, you just let me know. That was you invested in me. Thank you for hating on me. I'm doing something right. And that's how I look at it. You know, and to go back.
And look, if the smack hits you, that means they were legitimately watching you. If it hits you or motivates you or touches you, the only way they can't do that from afar.
Yes,
they can't do that from a clip.
Actually, they can. And I'm going to tell you this. So, you know, my therapist, yes, my therapist, everybody, okay? When I first went to see her, yes, her, okay? When I first
I had a female therapist as well, Kathleen.
And you know, mine is Eugenia. Awesome. You know, and so when I went to see her and I was telling her a lot of issues I was going through, she was like, Kenny, I want you to visualize this. Visualize every day you go outside, open your arms and close your eyes. And every day, arrows upon arrows are firing down you. And those arrows are symbolic for people who are talking shit, who want to see you fail. They are people who are constantly coming at you. And every day, Kenny, you got to go outside and expect these arrows to come. But after you get hit so many times, you start to realize, like, damn, I've been hit here so many times. Let me put some armor right here. I'm not going to be able to cover up this. I'm not going to be able to, I'll heal, but the scar will be there. And I can cover up the scar, but I know the scar is there. And eventually you're going to get hit so much, you're going to have armor everywhere. And those arrows are going to still come, but you're going to be able to protect yourself. But this is what the one thing she said that really got me out of that conversation. She said, but there's going to come a day. It's not going to happen often, but it will still happen, that you're going to go outside and you're going to open your arms and close your eyes, have your armor on, and there will be no arrows that come. That's the day you realize that whether or not if they did, you were protected, but the day they don't come is the day you're going to remember and grow until the next day, and then you start the cycle all over again. People are going to hate on you. And again, that's not a bad thing. No one likes being hated on, but guess what? It's still good business when people talk about you. And when people come to check out what the shit they're talking, and they're proven wrong by your actions are going to show more than your words you can run. If your actions that they see are like, well, this person said this, but I see something else. Now, guess what? I'm speaking, but my actions are speaking louder than their words.
That's facts. That's why I tell people, even if you see me going to rant or say something from my heart that you may not agree with, it does not make me not the kind person that you know. It does not make me the loving person that you know. Not make me that person. It just makes me have an opinion that you don't agree with at that moment.
But at the same time, man, as human beings, we are destined to let each other down, to include ourselves. So if you said something that I didn't agree with, or you said something else, like, damn, like, yo, D, I don't know if I could rock with that. I'm not going to sit there and be like, yo, I'm going to cut you off. But if you did something egregious that goes against my character, I'm going to at least have the courtesy to tell you, yo, my man, I love you. I love what you do. What you did this time, though, I don't know if I can rock with. I'm going to fall back a little bit. And if we meet up, let's meet up. But I'm not just ghost you and then be like, yo, that motherfucker, y'all always talking about some pimp stuff and D this, D that. Like, go ahead.
Now, what do you say? Exactly what you just said. I'm letting you talk tonight because you're cooking. I just got the questions because you are barbecuing chicken right now. So what would you say? Because I had this question 10 minutes ago. I just was saving it. What would you say to females who say men don't check men? But you're a man who ain't gonna like, dude, I'm your bro. You're gonna check me in a fucking heartbeat.
Yeah.
Like, and I know you just love me like that. And I know you got personal friends that's in your life that you just gonna give them the business.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like me, you'll call me and say, bro, what the fuck is that online, bro?
I will.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So what do you say? Because, like, it's this big thing where, like, oh, men let men be sloppy. Men don't check their homeboys and say, like, that was verbally just said to me about 3 hours ago. And I'm like, but then I get on the line with you and I'm like, all my boys are like you, but go ahead.
I would first ask for what is their definition of men or man? Who are you grouping together? Okay. Who are you referring to? Because if you're talking about men as in family and friends, like you as my boy, I'm gonna call you up and be like, yo, just like you said, hey, this was fire, that wasn't. I don't know what's going on. Yo, rock with this one. But my dad will call me and check me. Does that count? Is that men checking men? My best friend, he's a newly married man, and I've been married for like almost 7 years longer than he has. And even though he was an influential person when I was coming up and getting on my feet, now I'm able to call him and we talk about life, relationships. And there are times I'm like, hey man, this is how you get past that. But there's other times I'm like, bruh, no, you got to own that. You may be right with what you said, but you ain't right now. You need to apologize. I will say that. To a stranger, though, I may check somebody who is outright disrespecting, but if it's a stranger I don't know, I'm going to check with impact and influence. So I'm going to sit there, for example, if I meet someone that just met and, he's having problems, like, yo, I'm the person, if I see you crying on the side of the road, I'm going to pull my truck over and be like, yo, are you okay? Are you doing okay? At the same time, if I see a homeless woman, I'm going to give her money. If I see a homeless man, I ain't going to give him a dime. You know what I mean? Because there comes a situation where, man, if I start giving you money for free for no hard work, I'm not invoking the man that's inside you that needs to hustle to get to where you're going. As a woman, you have a fragility that as a man, I recognize and understand your situation. And if anything, I'm thankful you're not asking me to sleep with you for money. You're not asking for favors for money. You're just being honest. I need to feed my kids. Whether you got to feed your kids or not, thank you for not selling yourself to get here.
And this is not to say anything about a woman. This has nothing to do with the
No,
woman. I want to make
absolutely.
sure I'm
This is
saying
just an
that.
example. And
But what
again,
up?
to the women, this is not talking anything about you. This is just saying the ability to be better through just being honest and taking other avenues is something I appreciate. But I've had friends that were ladies of the night, and they were doing it for reasons, but they were just more
Right.
honest about what they're saying.
But what I was gonna say is what the reason why you're that way, and a lot of people may be like, "Oh, that's sexist," or whatever title they may want to try to use these new word shits to label you. And they say, "Oh, why would you give a woman money but you wouldn't give it to a man?" It's like, bitch, because one thing a man know is that a man is not finna lay there and die.
I'm not going to tell a
A
woman.
man, it's not. That's what I'm saying. That's why I was caveat saying that statement I just made has nothing to do with a woman. Like a woman would lay there and die. It's just that a man knows a man. I don't know a woman. I ain't got
Especially
a
when it
woman
comes to
fucking
like
body.
women in it, I would never like, for example, I used to always mess with my daughter right when she started her cycles. And she'd be on the couch and she'd be like, man, my stomach hurts. I'm like, ooh, me too, man. I had some food. I got a little bubble guts. Ugh. It ain't the same. You know what I'm saying? I will never know what she's going through, but I'm over here talking about, ooh, my bubble guts. Me too, girl. I just diminished what she's going through. That's what
Right,
women
right.
don't understand sometimes, because you will never understand what the experience is. Your input, no matter how well intended it may, is going to be diminished. Just like as a man, I think that Roe v. Wade, telling a woman she can't have an abortion, now I'm pro choice. I'm all for it. At the same time, I'm also an American in a place where people are having choices. And if the woman chooses to have an abortion, well, that is up to her to go through her own personal experience and how she feels of it. Some women are fine. They'll come out clicking their heels. Some women will come out in tears, but that is their choice and they have to live with that. And I feel that that is what it is. But when it comes to the decisions between the separation of a man and woman, sometimes your well-intended response and thoughts come off as disingenuous, and no matter what you say, you can never relate.
It's the reason why you have a fucking men's group to where I'm talking to someone that when I speak, they don't think I'm being challenging. They don't think I'm being abrasive. They don't think I'm being combative. None of that. They think like, damn, bro, you going through something. Let's talk about it.
Bro, that
Not
is the
my
nail
feelings
on the
are an
head.
attack to you.
That is exactly it. They look at you like, man, you're going through something. But then here's the thing. Other side of the fence, you have women that are like, men are too sensitive nowadays. We get all these F boys and this and that. And it's like, okay, I'm sorry. Do you want me to talk about this or do you want me not to talk about this? Do you want me to break your back or you want me to break ground for a future? Do you want me to give you money or do you want me to provide? Like, what is it that you're asking for? And this is where I feel that, and oh God, man, I feel like old just even saying this, but this generation, you know,
Nah, bro. Nah, we not old. We not old. We young fly niggas. These niggas, this generation ain't gonna even last long. They gonna make us still look young.
and that's the thing too. Like the fact of the matter is, you have internet telling these women what they should be looking for in men. You have young men who are barely out of their mid-20s talking about what a woman should be and what a man should be. When you haven't even been, you still growing the top lip of your hair. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of these niggas ain't had high school girlfriends.
You know what I'm saying? So now we're having this culture to where it is about the men who came from the era before this happened. It's up to that last generation to come forward and talk. But now we're also dealing with the not the cancel culture, because I don't even think that the cancel culture is something that's really serious in everyday life outside of internet. But we're also dealing with people who are going back and saying, oh, that's old school. Oh, that's this. Like, look, how are you going to tell me what has worked all these years? How are these women talking about their escapades and this is what a woman wants and this is what a woman needs, but they're also forgetting the mothers and grandmothers who raised them, single moms?
Bro, bro, when I can't say what I want to say, but I'm saying it out loud to remind myself to tell you in the DMs, bro. I'm going, like, I know you married, bro. I'm single. I'm gonna answer that question. So in a way too, in the DMs, like between me and you, I'm gonna drop something on you because, like, bro, you are 1,000,000,000% right. And the realization of that for me, like, bro, okay, I can say this. I can say this part. Bro, I only thought I like young bitches. I used to say that shit. I used to say, yo, old bitches are gross. I'm not fucking with no bitch over 30. Like, I always say that. Like, I can't do it. Like, I can't fuck, bruh. Now, bruh, no cap, bro. Now, if she's not at least, if she ain't at least 40, I can't even talk.
You know,
That shit crazy, right?
it's funny you say that, man. When I met my wife, before we were even just dating, like our first official date, we were driving, and and I got her laughing, key in the seat, right? Got her chuckling, and I made a Thundercats joke, and she was like, "Thundercats, what's that?" And I'm like, stop, you playing, girl, you know Thunder. And I looked at her, and she had that blank, inquisitive look on her face, and I was like, "Man, girl, how old are you?" Just like, a little jarb. And she was like, 21. And I stopped and I was like, what? She was like, why, how old are you? And at the time I had just turned 29. So there's about a 7.5, 8 year difference. So we're riding around for at least 2 minutes, uncomfortable silence. And I'm over here like, and I'm like, so do you want me to take you home or, and she was like, no, best decision that she ever said. That she was like, no, let's just ride it out. And I think 11, 12 years later, here we are. You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
wasn't because, I had that stigma too, like, and she got to be this, she has to be that. Like, look, love don't choose who you're with, and destiny has a plan for you. I don't care who you are. I had to write about my own destiny. You do until you don't. You do until
Exactly.
you no longer are there. But in my situation, it wasn't that I was looking for somebody special. I didn't know I was looking for her until she accepted me the way she did. I didn't know she was going to be my wife until I was like, I can't have you outside my life. You know what I mean?
Second guy here say that today.
But bro,
Exact same way too.
I did not plan on having more kids. I didn't plan on getting married. And my wife is the definition of that. She threw a thorn in my shoe, and it was the best time for me to stop. Like, bro, I can go on for days about how my wife play with my ego without even knowing it. But she played on my ego. She trapped me good, and I love her for the game that she played when we had to chase. I loved it, man. And I love the woman that screamed that mad at me when I was messing up, and she threatened to leave me. And I was like, dang, no, we can't have that. And she didn't realize the power she had because of the way she loved me. And I wish women would really understand that all you have to do is let your love light your man's life, and he will be there for you. Follow him, lead him, but lead him to.
Because a nigga will show you early. Females gotta take that sign too. A nigga show you early he's a trash panda. He will show you he's trash early. Take the sign, ladies, and get the fuck out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and my wife, and there was that point in time to where we thought about, like, is this it? Are we done? Do we have to move on? And we even took time to separate when I was still thinking about introducing her to my daughter at the time, because I didn't know she was going to be that person. And I wasn't that person that always, my daughter's mom always brought guys around her, and I was very selective. Even my female friends, I didn't want my daughter to get the idea of anybody coming around. So when she was, I don't want to say okay, but she understood, and we still worked it out. And for her to love my two oldest children as if they were her own, like I said, man, like sometimes there comes a time as a man where we have to make the right investment, and that investment does not require our penis, it does not require our heart, it requires our sensibility, it requires our intuition of what we can do. And then it also requires, and excuse me for those who are listening, it also requires a little bit of post-nut clarity. You know what I mean? Like you gotta get that rock off and then make your decisions. You know what I'm saying? And and that's just what led me to the happiness I am today. So for a lot of these things to come off the way they are, we're just in a place that we can really train ourselves to be better, but we can also give an influence to those who are in this, what is it called, the manosphere, the red pill, the blue, whatever that shit is called. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, bro, whenever we do this, bro, I always want to start off with something valuable that you learned from from your group, hanging out with your guys, your group circle.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start off that way all the time. I think that follows and leads us into such a positive conversation, and I think that it's a lot of things about you that you're able to provide, and the way that you talk and the way that you're able to socialize on this camera, man, people really need to be. I told you this all the time, bro, but I'm gonna post a lot of this, bro, because this is what I'm trying to tell men, bro. You don't gotta be a sucker. Y'all, if y'all don't, this is what I try to tell y'all all the time. Y'all think I'm crazy. Y'all think I'm wild because I don't say things the way I want. But I got somebody I listen to. So y'all know I'm not left. I don't think women should do this or women should do that. I listen to Kenny. Kenny is clear-headed. He's a fucking man. He handles his shit. He's a businessman. And he gives me advice. He's conscientious. And so when y'all hearing people talk like this on my channel, y'all know this is who influenced me. This is how I rock. I may not be able to articulate things that's going to make you feel. You see, I already started talking and got loud. Kenny been calm the whole goddamn time. See what I'm saying? Back to Kenny. But that's what I'm saying. These are the people who influence me, y'all. And y'all got to understand, like, y'all may not like everything how I say it, but I'm coming from a good place. That's why I'm not trying to bogart men. I tell women every day, it's a sucker born every day. So he just talked about some of his female friends being ladies of the night. I got somebody dear to me that was a lady of the night that I wouldn't, if she wasn't, I wouldn't have ate.
Bro, man, oh my, look, I remember one of my friends was like, look, Kenny, and I was out of a job, bro. I was homeless. She's like, look, I know you need a job, and I know how you feel about this, but I need a driver. And you already know what I mean by driver, And so for like almost a year, I was a driver in Alaska. And she was breaking me off every time she would come down. And only twice did I ever have to step out the car, and never once did I have to physically help her into the car.
Handle something.
But every single time, just me being there, she broke it off. you know? And I knew her husband. I knew her children. I knew all this. And the only thing that she said sucked about her profession, because people knew, she said the only thing that really gets to me is no one ever wants to drink from the same cup as me. And she was like, I understand, but that's still, I still feel a certain way about that. Like, I can't help that I feel something about that. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that's weird because like people don't brush their teeth. Like like what? Like no matter what you do, like cause like it's you'll drink behind a nigga who just had sex with his wife because niggas eat ass. So like what the like we talking dick and we talking ass. Like what we do like
and that's the thing too, man. Like when it came to that, that's how I knew. That was the first time, like when I got my body to match my ego, as I like to say. Like my charisma matched my physique. So if my charisma didn't win them over, my looks would. And I remember the first time this girl, and it was right when that song came out, you got to eat a booty like groceries. And this girl was like, are you going to, I was so offended, man. I was like, never in my life, ever.
I've never in my life had a woman ask me to eat her ass. Never in my fucking life.
The one and only. And that was really, for me, it was an eye-opening thing because I'm not a prude in any single way.
I didn't say I ain't never done it. I'm just saying the bitch ain't never had the balls to ask me.
Well, this one had, and I looked at her like, madam. You know?
That bitch had cannonballs. She thought she was a whore. Oh. Eat my ass, you whore.
And I was over here like, you know, it was just one of those things, man. And again, but that's what I love about my relationship is that we have these predefined things and there's never the need to always like, well, this is the new thing nowadays. Let's try this. It's like, no, we know what we like and we good at what we do. We're okay. So to bring it all into compass, man, the peace of mind that I want has been my goal. I've been going through a lot of stuff in my life, man, and we'll definitely have a chance to catch up offline. But the last couple of weeks has been a lot of issues, both in the home with family, but it's also been I look at it as every time the road gets rough, every time that you start going from tar road to gravel to broken up gravel to rocks to the terrain. There's a bigger, you're going through this to survive something that's coming up. Every obstacle is a test down the road, and I refuse to let this break me down, but I'm going to build up. I know what it's like to walk at an incline. I know what it's like to walk with weight on my shoulders. I know what it's like to wake up and be like, dang, do I want this day to start? But some things have to be done. Some things must be done. In my life, the mission that I have for myself, I'm a long way from there, but I'm sure as hell not at my day one. But if I was to stop right now because of all these obstacles, all of that hard work will put me back at day one, and I refuse to do this hard work again if I could do it only once.
I'll say it in this. I am newly single and figuring out my life right now. So if I could, and I ain't even want to say that on live. I hope not too many people watch this and don't see that part.
May I offer one bit of advice?
Don't ever date again. But what is your other piece of advice?
Don't run. Okay. When I say don't run, if your goal is to not get married, great. But don't run from that person that is willing to share your journey in life with. Because a lot of times there is that, I'm single, I don't got to do this, I'm not trying to get locked down. And you might be single, so you meet that one. Again, no need for you to get married or anything like that or lock it down, but you just might need that right person in your life. So don't go out there looking, but if that person happens to stumble on your yellow brick road, well, don't kick them back into the cornfield with the scarecrow. Help her up, dust her off.
All right, everybody who keep giving me this advice, I have one rule. If you're going to give me this advice and I have to accept it, I got one rule. You got to put your name on the marriage certificate, too. You in this, too, if you're going to influence me to do this shit again.
Me, I don't think you heard me. I don't think you heard when I said you don't got to get married. Because, first of all, I ain't signing John Hancock for none of that when it goes south. I'm like, bro, I just gave my opinion. You could have said no.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I was on that same type shit, though. I'm on that shit with, like, man, I'm finna ignore this shit. Like,
You need to
I already
focus
know
on
some
that
good women
music,
out there.
bro. You let me
That's
tell you
what I'm
something.
doing. That's exactly
Every
what I'm
time you
doing,
hear my
dog. No
music,
cap.
bro, I pull up my bass and I play to your songs because that funk line, like, oh, there's one of them joints, man. I was going off on that sucker, man, and it's a good. So every time you send me something, I'm like, all right, new project for the week. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm over here doing this stuff, and in my mind, I'm like, when I come down to Florida one day and this man's performing live, I'll be like, yo, let me get on that bass and let me do my thing with you. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah, to let you know, I've been performing live.
you know, I've seen it. I've been watching your stuff, man. You know, I haven't been able to
Yeah,
jump
yeah.
on because of all the stuff I've been doing, but bruh, like I have been so proud of. I think it's only been maybe going on a year that we've met, but from where you started, and then all of a sudden your content has been just beasting out. So I've seen your growth, man. I remember you started off at 400, then 800. Where you at now?
They won't let me pass 800. I don't know why. I'm stuck at 804. I get to 806. I've never been
You
at.
might want to
I
check
think
into
the
that.
highest my subs have got
you
is
you
808.
you've been at 804 for a while. That was the last. That was a while ago, man.
Bro, and I'm taking other people's phones and subbing to my channel. Like, I'm literally in public grabbing people's phones, liking all my content. Like, I'll pull up my shit, like all my shit, subscribe to my channel with other people's shit. And I'm like, but you know me, I do what you tell me, big dog. And I'm gonna be honest with you. It's one thing that we had talked about, and you was like, yo, bro, you know this shit's not gonna happen overnight. You know it's not gonna be some instant thing. You know you're gonna have to drop a lot of videos, and that's what I'm doing. I just dropped my 150th video, and I started a year ago in June.
But
I started a year ago in June, and I just dropped my 150th video.
yeah, there are people who haven't popped off until their 2-3 year mark. I just don't want you to stop, and I want you to
Nah,
keep
I
going.
can't because it's I love it. I just did a fucking food review video, bro. It had 30 views for 2 days. It did no views, bro. I woke up the next day, the bitch was at 300. It's almost at I think it's almost at 400 or 500 views now. It's just going. I did a food review at this place called in Tampa called the Crate at Wesley Chapel, and it's a restaurant there called Polani's Hawaiian Noodles. So I decided to just do a food review. I put some music behind it. I did a little narration voice. Like, bro, when I dropped that, bro, I was feeling them
Hey,
30 views felt so good, bro. I didn't even think it was gonna go bigger than that, but I was
I
happy.
don't know if you got a producer or anything, man, but if you need someone to help you out with editing your videos, man, I got this fire person that'll definitely help out. But speaking of which,
Yeah.
man, I hate to drop off. I got to put the kids to sleep.
Nah, bro, you gave me your time, man. You know I love you, bro. That's all I can ask for is your time, dog. You gave it to me, man. And amazing content. The people finna see this shit on YouTube, bro. You know we got our channel. Y'all know to go to like and subscribe.
The spoken tokens, do your thing. Hey, man.
Yeah, man. We dropping this.
Hey, be blessed, man. Love you, brother, and I'll keep shining, man. The grind will pay in full. So keep it up. Keep what you're doing. I love the content, man. And we'll do this again later.
Hey, man, honestly, bro, thank you for opening up to us, man. This is a privileged conversation, bro. Like, absolutely privileged, man.
Yo, anytime, man. Be easy with your brother.
Be easy, King.
Peace.